Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Tiffany, your hope dealer from Tiffany FRSMC. And this morning, I want to share on a topic that kind of draped me up as well. So, bear with me if you see me chuckling throughout this. So, the topic is the tyranny of terrifying tasks, which I like to call triple threat. So, this morning, I was reading on the story of Saul who turned to Paul. But amidst that story, I wanted to focus on one other key person in this story that is many times overlooked, and that is Ananias. So, for those who don't really know the story, there is this man whose name was Saul, and he persecuted people a lot to the point where he would go out of his way to get to these people. And it took one event to transform that man's life, or one major event, I should say, because I don't know if there was any other events that led up to that point, but there was one major event that caused the man to basically had a 180 degree in his life. But before I really, get too deep into that, I want to come back to Ananias, right? So to kind of add a relatability to it, a bit of relatability. Imagine now, you as a person, right? You're going about your merry way, you're going about your business, and then out of nowhere, you hear that somebody don't like you. Anyways, the person doesn't like you, but you didn't do anything to them that you are aware of for them to not like you. They continuously badmouth you, they continuously talk behind your back and slander your name. I know a lot of you right now, you probably resonate with that. And for want of a better term, you just don't know. You just don't know what is up with this person and why they have a beef with you, right? So you being the type of person that you are, maybe you like to keep the peace, maybe these things don't really bother you. I'm kind of like that as well. I don't really allow things to bother me. I try to keep the peace as best as it's possible. And, if I don't really feel the need to address a situation, I leave it alone, because sometimes some people, they don't know what they want and they're really just trying to bring you down. So I will leave a situation alone like that. So anyways, this person, they continuously trying to slander your name and speak bad about you, but you ignore them. So let's say one day out of the blue, God says to you, go and speak to that person. And you're like, huh? God? And then you and God have this back and forth conversation. And then God is still saying to you, go and speak to that person.
God, me?
Yes, you.
But why?
Tiffany, I am commissioning you to get the
You
job
know,
done.
see?
Were you
God.
without any wrongs before you came to me? Don't you think that I'm trying to save another one of my children?
All right, God.
Right. Thank you for heeding the call. Yes, I
Oh.
understand. You will do well. It will be well. Because of the history that you have with that person, you're very much reluctant to go and speak to that person, because you're probably saying, God, the only thing this person has ever done is to, persecute me, and rightfully so. And you don't know if they want to take your life, which is the case in the story of Ananias and Saul. Saul was persecuting people like Ananias to kill them. So can you imagine Ananias is distraught when God said, go to this man. Ananias is probably like, Ananias, yes, my son, I want you to go into Judas. I want you to go to Saul of yes, Saul. Yes, the same man from Tarsus. I want you to go to him because he's praying. And he has already seen you in a vision coming to him. And I want you to go and lay your hands on him so that he might receive his sight. Ananias. You want me to say, Ananias? I say, go on. I need you to bless the man and release him because he is going to do mighty works in my name. And I will show him the great things that he will have to endure for my name's sake. So I need you to go. Good. All Ananias had was the history of what this man had done. He was not made aware that this person is so weak right now that he can't even do anything to you. And sometimes God does things like that in our lives to make us trust in Him, to not really know the full so that we can rely on Him. And why I want to say that this message is about triple threat is because one, sometimes the very things that seem very difficult for you to do, they would require you to surrender and do things that seemingly just seem like they're mad, but you have to have discernment to know what those things are. So one, you may be a block to somebody because God had commissioned Ananias in that point in time to go and speak to Saul. So had Ananias refused to go, I should say, Saul could very well be the same type of person that he was leading up to the journey of trying to persecute the followers of Christ. So that could be one thing. You could be blocking someone's transformation. That's one of the threats. The second threat is you would also have felt, maybe a bit of remorse or regret along the way. Maybe you might not feel the regret in the situation or at the particular time, but maybe at some point in time you feel the regret that, I should have done this, and then you have to live with that regret and say, boy, I should have done this and I should have done that. And then the third threat that I want to say is that you would have basically been disobedient to God, and then for somebody that is very passionate and love God, you would have failed God, and you have felt the weight of that failure to say, I was disobedient and so forth. And then it can also block you because maybe there is also a lesson in that experience for you to get, and you would have missed that opportunity. And that is how I came by the triple threat, the tyranny of terrifying tasks, because that was a very terrifying thing for Ananias to have done. I can imagine him walking along the way to say, boy, gotta send me to my death, It must have been terrifying. But at times we don't have the full evidence and we just have to deal with that. So we really have to know how exactly to go about certain tasks, how to go about certain things by using discernment and by trusting in God that He will bring a completion of things, and to never miss out on the blessings that may come by that simple action that may seem very terrifying. And I know this tripped me up as well because I can say that I am aware of people that God may send me to, and I'm like, me God, why you've got to talk to them? And it really takes me to surrender at times to say, I'm going to do it. I'm going to trust in you, and I'm just going to do it. And then I don't think I've really encountered a situation where those times it blew up in my face, because as I said, I use discernment to really assess where is this coming from. And it's not me, because I'm not going to want to get up and speak to these people, because I don't want to cause any unnecessary tension than what is already there, right? And I kind of have to wait on God's prompting to say, you are capable of doing this now. But sometimes it's not easy. Sometimes it's very hard. But if you know that you love God and you want to obey Him and you want to do the best that you can for Him, then there isn't a task that you are going to turn down for the glory of God. So just wanted to share that with you this morning. So I hope you guys have a blessed day and enjoy.